welcome to this video. My name is Anushka Gandhi and today I'm going to talk about a very sensitive topic, a very common doubt which you and me, most of us have when we decide to come to this beautiful country called Canada. Now I still remember when I had decided that I have to do my post-graduation here in Canada, the most difficult situation I was in was to decide whether to choose a university or a college in order to pursue this education. So after doing a lot of research, going back and forth on this topic, asking a lot of experts out there, attending tons of seminars, the final decision I made was to go for a college. Now, it was personal because I had some preferences for that. I had my goals set. So that's why I chose to go for a college. But today in this video, we're going to talk about what is in college and what's in university. So what you get, what you need, and which one is better. Although which one is better is completely your choice, but here my duty would be to give you a clarification, a better idea of how your education would look like in a university and a college here in Canada. Let's begin with this video then. So when it comes to doing a post-graduation here in Canada, you get two main options. You could either go for something which is post-graduation diploma, or you could straight away go for a master's degree. Now, the main difference here is for post-graduation diploma, you would prefer to go to a college, whereas if you decide to do a master's degree, you need to approach a university. So I know most of us would not be majorly concerned if it's a post-graduation diploma or a master's degree, as long as you see better job opportunities after completing either of these courses. So what I would like to mention here is if you decide to go for a master's degree in a university, you've got three major options after completion of the degree. The first option you've got is to find a better field job, get a good package, and you're all set. The second option you've got is to go for higher education. You can go and pursue a PhD degree after you complete your master's degree. The third option you've got is to find a job as a professor or a lecturer in a university or any college setting. So these are the three major options which you can only do if you decide to do a master's in a university. Whereas if you decide to go for a post-graduation diploma course in a college, you've got again three options. Now the first option is very straightforward, is to find a job, a field job, and get it all settled there. However, in terms of finding a field job, since it's going to be a diploma degree, diploma course, you would have to majorly focus on jobs related to your bachelor's because that's going to stand strong in terms of finding a job. The second option you've got here is to go for a master's course. So after you finish your post-graduation diploma, you can go for a master's and then go for a PhD. So this is how people go step by step in case they fail to get admission in a university for a master's right away. So this is how you can just take a U-turn or just a little long route in order to go for a master's and a PhD. The third option you've got is again go for a master's and then try for options like getting a professor job or a lecturer. So this is how basically if you decide to go for a post-graduation course, you might have to take a little longer turn in order to go for the later two options. The first option of finding a job still stands strong there. Now I'm quickly going to take you through the similarities and differences of going for a post-graduation diploma, whereas a master's degree, or studying at a university or studying at a college. So we're going to talk about the similarities and differences. The first and foremost would be the duration of the course. Now, when you're going for a master's degree, you can assume studying a master's course for say as long as 3 years, as less as a year. It's generally between 2 to 3 years, but very rarely you can also find master's courses as less as a year long. Whereas if you go for a post-graduation diploma course, you could have to study a post-graduation diploma for as long as 2 years to as less as 9 months. Yes, you could also study post-graduation diploma for as less as 9 months, and those are going to be fast-track diploma courses. Next up are the expenses of studying in a college and in a university. So if you go for a university for a master's degree, you could assume paying a little on the higher side as compared to a college education. So for example, on an average, a master's degree would have you pay somewhere around say a 20,000 Canadian dollars every year. Depends on how long the course would be. Whereas if you decide to go for a post-graduation diploma course in a college, you could assume paying somewhere around 15,000 Canadian dollars every year. Now, it's the matter of the fact that when we decide to come here as a student, we also have it somewhere in the corner of the mind that we might also immigrate to this beautiful country. So in that case, we need to remember that if you go for a master's course, you will get up to 30 PR points, whereas if you go for a post-graduation diploma course, you would get 15 PR points, which are eventually going to help you in order to apply your permanent residency here in Canada. Now let's quickly talk about the eligibility criteria in order to apply for a master's degree or a post-graduation diploma course. Now, for both of these, you would either have to give an IELTS or a TOEFL. Now remember, in Canada, most probably, I would say 90% of people choose to go for IELTS because that's very straightforward and it's mostly accepted in all the colleges, although there are all other English proficiency exams which are also accepted. Not all, but most of the colleges and universities here, but the IELTS being the most common and most preferred English proficiency test. In terms of IELTS, in order to apply for a university, you need to score at least an overall band of 6.5 in IELTS with no less than 6 band in each of the modules. Whereas if you go for a college, you could have an overall score of 6 with no less than 5 in each of the modules. Now, this is an average score which is asked by most of the colleges here, although there could be some colleges and universities who would still accept you if you score a little less than these desired scores. The next step in eligibility is your previous score in your bachelor's degree. So it's pretty obvious that if you're applying for a master's or a post-graduation course, you would have pursued a bachelor's from your home country. Here it could be India. So in that case, they also count how much percentage you've scored in your bachelor's degree and if you have any backlogs. If you're applying for a master's degree, make sure you don't have any backlogs because I would say 99, 98, 97%, over 90% of the college universities out here will not accept if you've already got any backlogs in your bachelor's course. Besides, they also expect you to score an average percentage of 70 or above in order to be eligible to apply for your master's. Whereas in terms of applying for a post-graduation diploma course, they would expect you to score over 50, more than 50, in the range of 50% to 60% in order to be eligible, and they would still accept you with some backlogs. Some colleges would accept say 2 or 3 backlogs, the others would accept 6 to 7 backlogs. Trust me, there are some colleges existing here who would accept you even if you've got multiple backlogs in your bachelor's course. So but you always have to make sure you've got good percentage there and you've got good academic records in order to secure your seat in a better college, because the lower your score is, the higher is the chance that you fall into a not so good college or a university out here. Now, with good things comes a lot of trouble. So if you're looking to pursue your education in a university for a master's course, you have to do a lot of formalities, which includes to provide a letter of recommendation, sometimes 2, sometimes multiple. So letter of recommendation is basically someone from your bachelor, someone from your previous education system gives a recommendation letter to this particular university saying this person has studied under me and I would recommend him for pursuing his education to your university given that this person seems worthy to me. So basically there's someone from your previous education, say from some professor from your bachelor's course has to give you a recommendation letter that he recommends you in order to pursue your education, further education. So basically, he just gives you a letter of good standing. So he's impressed with how you are, and he would recommend the university that they can accept you as their student. So this is how basically you're supposed to provide 1, 2, or sometimes even more than 2 letter of recommendation to the university in order to pursue your seat. In terms of applying for a college, you do not have to do any of these formalities. It's pretty much straightforward. Just apply, go for an IELTS, and that's it. If you score good, you get the admission there. So now that we've spoken both about how college education would look like, whereas how a university would look like, what a post-graduation diploma could do to you, and what a master's would, what I would recommend at the end is just have a clear picture of what you intend to do in terms of your future prospects. For example, if you're someone who is just looking to immigrate and already have your future plans made, for example, if you're deciding to open a business here in Canada, I would recommend you to go for something as easy as a college rather than going for a university. It's going to waste your time and your money. Whereas if you're someone who's looking to genuinely pursue good education, quality education here in Canada, and find a job based on that education, I would recommend you to put effort in terms of finding a good university here, because that's how it's going to help you fetch a good job. So have your priorities set, understand what you need to do, and then decide whether to choose for a university or college. Please do not follow someone else's footsteps and go for that particular place just because you think that person would be right. Have your priorities set, understand what you need to do, and then only go for it. Now, I hope this video has helped you in terms of understanding what you need to do. If you would have any more questions, please feel free to reach out, and I would be more than happy to help you with as much of possible help I could do to you. On that note, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and comment down below what you want to watch next about Canada. Until then, goodbye.